Hello there, a very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us here on News Tonight on GHOne TV. In the next 1 hour, we bring you the latest news from across the country. I'm Natalie. For a look at the top stories. Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin declares 4 seats vacant following their decision to contest in the 2024 elections as independent candidates.
These MPs cannot be allowed by law and my good self to continue to pretend to be representing people that they don't believe in and they don't have any loyalty for in this house any longer.
Also coming up this evening, pressure mounts on police to arrest supporters of Archbishop Salifu Amwaku for assaulting EIB Network's legal affairs correspondent Murtala Inusa.
Anybody who is culpable in this will be dealt with in accordance with the law. The same as a deterrent for people who may want to repeat such conduct on journalists, either within the court premises or outside the court premises.
On your election hub tonight, NDC flag bearer GHOne Dramani Mahama refuses invitation for a debate with NPP flag bearer Dr. Mahamudu Bamia.
Why do you want to debate me? All the people you said I should go and debate, their situation is worse now than it was in 2016. So you go and debate them, and tell them why you have mismanaged this economy in 8 years, why their situation is worse even though you promised that you were the economic wizard.
And in business, concerned staff of VRA demand withdrawal of energy bills, seeking to merge the company with the Bui Power Authority. Well, we kickstart the bulletin with insight. Or top on the news this evening. In what can be described as nothing is permanent in this life, the opposition NDC has become the majority in Parliament with barely 2 months to go for the December 7 general elections. Now, 4 members of Parliament, 3 from the governing MPP and 1 from the opposition NDC, declared their intentions to contest the 2024 elections as independent candidates after losing the primaries. This caused the Tamale South MP Haruna Idrisu to trigger a motion to have those seats declared vacant. Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin, after listening to arguments, announced his ruling a while ago. Let's take a listen.
Honourable members, it is important to note that the determination of whether a member of Parliament has resigned from their political party or has joined another party is a matter of fact. In 2020, during the tenure of Right Honourable Professor Aaron Michael Kui as Speaker of Parliament, a notable instance occurred when the New Patriotic Party notified the Speaker that the Member of Parliament for Formina, Honourable Andrews Asiema Amwaku, was no longer a member of the party. The MPP requested that the seat be declared vacant in accordance with Article 97(1) of the Constitution, citing that the Member of Parliament had filed to contest the upcoming elections as an independent candidate, which violated the party's constitution. In response to this request and notification, Right Honourable Professor Aaron Michael Kui proceeded to declare the seat vacant. However, I must emphasize that this ruling made by the previous speaker does not bind other speakers, including myself. It is important to point out that in the present matter before the House, the notice of poll is available at the Electoral Commission on all the 275 constituencies. I have duly taken note of the notice of the poll, and furthermore, no member in making comments to the statement made to the House by the minority leader denies these glaring and notorious facts. And so, what is my role in all this? Honorable members, it is important to point out that the Speaker is called upon by the standing orders of Parliament, particularly Order 18, to inform the House of the occurrence of a vacancy of the seat of a member under Clause 1B to E, G, and H of Article 97 of the Constitution. Accordingly, I proceed to inform the House that by the notification of the polls, the following members of Parliament have by their actions vacated their seats in Parliament. The members are Honorable Peter Yao Kwache Aka, NDC MP for Amenfi Central in the Western Region, now referred to as an independent parliamentary candidate for the same constituency. 2, Honorable Andrew Amwako Asiama, independent member for Fomna constituency in Ashanti region, now referred to as MPP parliamentary candidate for the constituency. 3, Honorable Kojo Asante, MPP MP for Suhum in the Eastern region, now referred to as independent candidate for the same constituency. And finally, Honorable Cynthia Mamile Morrison, MPP MP for Agona West constituency in the Central region, now referred to as independent candidate for the same constituency. These MPs cannot be allowed by law and my good self to continue to pretend to be representing people that they don't believe in and they don't have any loyalty for in this House any longer. The House is accordingly so informed.
Well, my colleague Ibrahim Al-Hassan, our parliamentary correspondent, was in the chamber as all this went down and is in studio to fill us with the latest details and run us through that. Ibrahim, a very historic, actually, day in Parliament. There's certainly reactions have been coming through already. And we had harsh words, in fact, by the Speaker there, talking about the fact that people pretending to be representing a group they do not care about. Run us through the details.
Well, so came as a surprise, right. Yes, but of course there's been a precedent. And so in the 7th Parliament, as was referenced by the Speaker, Professor Elon Michael Quay, the former Speaker, handed a similar verdict, interestingly, against one of the victims of today's verdict, right, as well, Andrew Esiama, the Member of Parliament for Menaden, who had then ditched the MPP and was going independent. But of course, as the Speaker said, many people expected something else because there's been a legal process that has been triggered by the majority leader, of course, Alexander Kwame Afenyo-Markin at the Supreme Court. Subsequently, we found out that those processes have been described as premature because it was speculative. No decision has been taken by Parliament relative to these requests that came from the NDC. Now that a decision has been taken, the MPP can properly so-called go to court with something and trigger the interpretation powers of the Supreme Court. But of course, back to the chamber. Right.
I mean, before you return to the chamber, I'm going to ask that you hold your thoughts briefly before running us through this and the implications of it as well, because we've also been joined by Dr. Kwesi Amache Boating. He's a political analyst to speak to us on what he thinks about this, after which we'll return to my colleague Ibrahim Al-Hassan. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you for joining us here on News Tonight. Now, how would you describe this move by the Speaker, given that we're just a few months to the December 7 general elections?
Well, it's actually a very significant ruling, and it's somehow going to be historical somehow. It's going to be historical, quite unprecedented. A move that has had to be taken. And so that's what I would like to say initially. It's something that is really of a large magnitude.
It certainly is quite historic. Now, specifically, what implications do you foresee that this will have on the December 7 general elections?
Okay. The elections ahead of us and this ruling. Well, unless there are some things that are yet to unfold, some issues, that, if you like, in a way, will be hugely scandalous. Otherwise, I don't expect any new thing to really affect the way things are going. It's affecting in the country, the nature of the economy, the environmental challenges that we have. These are issues that I expect to, if you like, come out as the major determining factors of the way people, will be voting. What has happened now, with the majority going to become the majority, I don't expect this as an end in itself to have any huge impact on the, forthcoming election.
Very well noted. Dr. Kwesi Amache-Boateng, thank you for your time this evening. Political analyst joining us with his reactions to this breaking news. Now, Ibrahim just confirming the fact that it is, in fact, quite historic. And so officially, the NDC has majority in Parliament. We've seen reactions coming through from the former President, John Dramani Mahama, Samuel Kututu Ablako as well. Now, run us through what this would mean, specifically, and their seats and the constituencies they're representing.
Well, this parliament has always been a parliament that has the numbers game at the top, because NPP had 137 and plus one independent MP that gave them the majority caucus tag. NDC had 137. Right now, with one side losing just one, the dynamics will change. This time around, the NPP has lost 3, NDC losing 1. So now tables have turned. NDC now has 136 as against NPP's 135. And mind you, we are less than 3 months away from December 7th.
So 51 days
exactly. So the Constitution does not allow for a by-election to take place. So these MPs whose seats have been declared vacant could not be replaced until December 7th. Now, with that said, Speaker himself gave out the numbers. It means that the NDC, which was in the minority for the past 3 years, will now constitute the majority. And then the NPP, which together with the help of the independent MP, the former MP, became the majority caucus, will now, with its 135 seats, go to the minority status. Which means that the sitting arrangements will have to change. Where the NDC MPs are seated will have to be occupied by the NPP MPs and vice versa.
Right. How about the deputy majority leader? What are the steps with regards to having a new one?
That's interesting. And it's an interesting question because per the Constitution, the first deputy speaker and the second deputy speaker cannot come from the same party, and that's how come automatically it went to Andre Siama, who was an independent member of parliament. And so the NDC decided to cede that position. It didn't contest. The minority did not contest for that position, even though because the minority belongs to a different party, they could have taken that particular portfolio, adding to the speakership. So that was ceded. So now, NDC will have to nominate somebody, automatic. NDC will have to nominate somebody to failed Andre Siama's position as a second deputy speaker. NPP, per the Constitution, cannot nominate anybody because the first deputy speaker is from the NPP. And so automatically, Andre Siama's position will have to go to a minority MP or an NDC MP this time around. There are some names already are flying about, but I'm sure the NPP, per the engagement we've had with the majority side, will say that the NDC is jumping ahead of itself because the process, which is a legal process, to litigate this to the end, has just started.
Has just begun.
Yes.
Now, what specific reactions did you gather from Parliament? Who did you engage with and what were their reactions?
Well, so first of all was Alexander Kwame Nafejo-Markin, the majority leader, who started his reaction on the floor, got up to inform the Speaker that he had filed some processes at the court, right? And he felt that Speaker should have taken cognizance of that particular move in arriving at this decision. Speaker did not take kindly to some of the words he used, so he was ordered to resume his seat. He was also not so excited about those directives. So he led his charges and then they walked out. As they were walking out, he addressed the media and registered in no uncertain terms his disapproval, his disagreement, and the fact that what the Speaker sought to do was unconstitutional, and in the coming days that will be proven at the Apex Court of the land. Now, I engaged Andy Apiakubi. He's a member of Parliament for Asante Achem North, and his insights were quite interesting. He's a lawyer as well, and he's the one who led the charge against Ken Ofori-Atta, the Ken Must Go charge. He was their leader. Now, he mentions that he expected Speaker to do what he did. He sees nothing wrong with what the Speaker has done because legally the Speaker is following a precedent. Now, he also disagrees with the decision to go to court ahead of today, and that move was speculative. Today, that Speaker has handed down a decision. Tomorrow, the minority charges or majority charges until this decision, the MPP, can then head to court holding Speaker's decision and then relate that decision to the Supreme Court and ask for the court to then interpret Article 97 IG as to whether, per the proper interpretation of Article 97, these four individuals have indeed left their parties and have joined a different party or have become independent. They've broken allegiance with the party that sent them to Parliament, and then that pronouncement will be made. But that's where the challenge comes in. This article, finally, is to serve as deterrent to members of Parliament who lose their seats during their internal elections. If this article is not allowed to stand as it has stood for a while, what it means is that before the 2028 elections, if you are a sitting member of Parliament and you lose your primaries, nothing hinders you from picking forms and contesting as independent. And that's what the political parties don't want. They want to have a lead and control over how their members behave. If you lose, stay in there. Let another person come in. But if this article is tampered with, as everybody expects to happen, especially from the side of the MPP, what that means is that you can still contest as an independent candidate and remain in Parliament to see you of the remaining term of your office.
Very significant implication. Very significant implication. Now, we had the two sides hold a press conference, that's the majority and the minority. Let's take a look at that.
The people of Ghana voted for the NDC majority, but if not certain machinations, this should have happened from day one of this Parliament. But you see, finally we are here. We are here to do the business of the people of Ghana. We are here to begin the process to reset our country. Our country has gone through very difficult times. In fact, oftentimes the people of Ghana have blamed Parliament for not standing up for the people of Ghana. But obviously, you can't blame the NDC minority because we were not having the working majority. Today, we have the working majority, and we'll begin the process to reset our country. We want to use this opportunity to assure the people of Ghana that the NDC majority will stand for the people of Ghana any day, any time. We will begin the process to move to the majority side and elect a new second deputy speaker on Tuesday. We assure the people of Ghana that we will also take over majority of the committees of Parliament, and we'll do the work in a way that will benefit the people of Ghana. We have gone through so much as a country, and this cannot continue. We thank the Speaker for standing with the people of Ghana, respecting the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, respecting precedents and the standing order of the people of Ghana, of the Parliament of Ghana. You know, all of this, we thank the people of Ghana by standing with the people of Ghana. Thank you very much.
We want these few weeks before the end of the 8th Parliament to matter and to count. There are so many matters, as you know, matters that we have been raising, that we have our say, we win the debate, but we do not have our way. We do not carry the day because we didn't have the numbers. We are determined to make sure that these numbers count and that all of those obnoxious draconian policies, for example, the inaction in terms of the Galamsey fight, all of these very inimical taxes that have imposed hardships on our people, we are going to start work in earnest to make sure that our numbers count. So in the next few days, history is going to be made. Yes. This is going to be a defining, consequential moment, and we are determined that this defining and consequential moment ultimately should matter to the Ghanaian. It should reflect in bringing reprieve, in bringing some hope to the Ghanaian who has been suffering under this intransigent, very, very stiff-necked government that refuses to listen, that will not even be a party that will build consensus and that will bring on board divergent views. So this is a golden opportunity, and we intend to make this golden opportunity count right from day one.
We believe in the law. We, as the majority caucus, immediately are boycotting Parliament until this matter is determined by the Supreme Court. The Speaker has no right to interpret the Constitution, and it is so clear that what he did was to give advantage to the NDC and do the bidding of the NDC. We are not going to go further to litigate. We have a process at the court. If the court makes a pronouncement, we'll respect the orders of the court. But because we believe that the issues we have raised are issues for interpretation.
Some scenes from the press conference there by majority and minority. Now, the former president, GHOne Dramani Mahama, and flag bearer of the NDC, has also reacted to this issue. Take a look.
If the report I am hearing from Parliament is true, then something historic has just happened. The report I am hearing is that the Speaker has declared 4 seats vacant. Of the 4 seats, 3 are from the MPP and 1 is from the NDC. So if those seats have been declared vacant, then it means in the life of one Parliament, the minority has turned to the majority and the majority has turned to the minority. So for me, God is even showing a sign of what is going to happen, because even before we have cast one single ballot, the NDC has become the majority.
Flag bearer of the NDC, GHOne Dramani Mahama, speaking and reacting to this development. Now, Ibrahim, in rounding up, clarify first of all, how soon are we expected to see the seating arrangements in Parliament change, and specifically when is the House going to resume as well?
Well, interestingly, today being Thursday, we'll have expected MPs to return to work tomorrow, because as you are aware, tomorrow is not a holiday. It's not been declared as such.
It isn't.
But given how chaotic things have been, the adjournment has been taken till Tuesday next week.
So that's next week, Tuesday.
The MPs have from tomorrow up until Monday to cool their tempers, and if they so desire to return to the chamber, to do so on Tuesday, and that's where the sitting arrangements will change. But if what the majority leader has just told us is anything to go by, then don't expect the NPP MP to show up on Tuesday. Tomorrow, per my engagement with them, they are headed to the Supreme Court to file new processes, not the one filed by us and the one Alfredo Markin, because now they have a decision from the Speaker that they believe borders on interpretation of the Constitution, and they want the apex court of the land to take that up.
To take it up. Interesting, very interesting. Ibrahim Al-Hassan, our parliamentary affairs correspondent there, thank you so much for running us through the details. And there you have it. The NDC has become majority in parliament with barely 2 months to go to the 2024 general elections. You're watching News Tonight here on GHOne TV. More on that subsequently. In other news this evening, pressure is mounting on the Ghana Police Service to immediately apprehend the supporters of Archbishop Salifu Amwako, who were caught on camera assaulting EIB's legal affairs correspondent Murtala Inusa in line of duty. Murtala was brutally battered by the angry sympathizers of the man of God when he was capturing Bishop Salifu Amwako after court granted him bail in the sum of 50,000 for allowing his unlicensed son drive a vehicle, which resulted in the tragic death of 2 girls in East Legon. Now, earlier, and we've also got some reactions to this development. And joining us to speak on this is Dr. Ken Ashigbe. Good evening to you, sir. I believe you're hearing me clearly. Thank you for joining us this evening. Now, we've had many condemn this act taken by the supporters of the man of God. And what's your reaction to this development, and what action are you hoping to see taken? It appears you're on mute. Can you kindly unmute yourself? Ken, it appears you're on mute. Can you unmute yourself and then carry on? Well, it appears we're having a bit of trouble reaching Ken Ashigbe there to react on this development, but there has been increasing pressure mounting on the police, calling for the arrest of Salifu Amwako's supporters following this development that occurred in court. And as you see on your screens there, EIB Network's court legal affairs correspondent Murtala Inusa assaulted by his supporters. Now, meanwhile, the Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana, while expressing surprise that no arrest has been made so far, called on the police to take some urgent steps to arrest those involved. Let's hear from Secretary for JUSAG, Abdullah Yakubu.
Security systems within our courts. This is not an isolated incident. There are other attacks that are happening on our staff at various courts, and we're taking steps to ensure that attack on anybody, whether a staff or a journalist or a court user within the court, is punished. That is the steps we are taking. And for Murtala, who is usually, you can describe him as the source of news within courtrooms, we find that as unfortunate, and we're going to give him all our support to ensure that whoever is involved in this matter is dealt with in accordance with the law. He has the full support of JUSAG in this trying time that he finds himself in. Anybody who is culpable in this will be dealt with in accordance with the law. The same as a deterrent for people who may want to repeat such conduct on journalists, either within the court premises or outside the court premises.
Now, we've also had the Ghana Journalists Association, GJA, release a statement on this development, and I'm going to read out a few key sections of this release. And it's titled, Assault on EIB Journalists by Sympathizers of Bishop Salifu Amwako, Devilish, describing the assaults as devilish. The unwarranted attack by the hooligans left Murtala Inusa, the EIB Network Legal Affairs correspondent, with cuts on his fingers and severe bodily pain. It further reads that the GJA is also informed that the police court warrant officer who went to the aid of the journalist was also assaulted by the hooligans, and this is condemned as well. The GJA calls on the Ghana Police Service to immediately arrest the assailants and prosecute them. It describes this occurrence as devilish. and urges media practitioners not to be intimidated by such occurrences. Now let's join Ken Ashibe. Dr. Ken Ashibe rejoins us now via phone. He's the convener of the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining. Joining us for his thoughts on this matter. Dr. Ashibe, thank you for joining us. I believe you're hearing clearly now. Now, in your years of practice, you're still seeing these attacks happening today. What's your reaction to this? Are we doing enough to protect journalists in our line of duty?
Not at all. Not at all. And you know, the sad bit about it is that the courts are becoming places where journalists are being beaten. So I'm in total support of the condemnation of the activities of these hooligans, who should be arrested immediately. And it's important that the judiciary takes steps to protect us, the fourth estate of the realm. We cannot be coming to court and be beating up by when we're trying to do our duties. And so it is very important that with the video footage that we have, and I think one of the good things that have happened today, which is one of the things that I keep on talking about, is that when we have journalists at any location that another is being attacked, the journalists should train their cameras, and make sure they take footage that we could use to prosecute this. So in as much as I would expect EIB to ensure that we get a lawyer who has a watching brief, to once the police take the criminal action, we get a lawyer who has a watching brief to be in court to ensure that the right things are done.
Right.
We should also get our lawyers to start a civil case in parallel as this is done. And I am hoping that the bishop would also make sure these people who are supposed to be his supporters, he gives them away and also condemns them. And we should ensure that these people are prosecuted. And the maximum sanction is exacted from them, because we cannot have a situation where journalists who hold for us, all of us, our freedom of speech, and do this on our behalf will be attacked. Which other profession is beating in the course of its duty? So this definitely is repugnant, and we all should condemn it. And I'm hoping that the police would immediately take steps and arrest these people and make sure that the right thing is done.
Absolutely. Now, I should also add, in fact, that my colleague, Murtala Inusa, also his phone was taken, and he just received it today. Now, you have said that you're calling for the needed terms and implications to be meted out against these supporters of the bishop. We've got just a few months to the 2024 general elections, which, as you know, is a heated time where we could see such instances with journalists in the line of duty. What are you expecting from stakeholders?
So I think the first thing is, from all of us as journalists, the fact that, I'm expecting that all media houses would provide their journalists the needed protection training in terms of how to protect themselves. And then as journalists as well, what has been done today is another thing that we need to do. We need to call on the police that they need to act with such dispatch that it will provide all of us as journalists the required protection and feeling of being protected that we're required to do our job. Because you're rightly, it is something that is rightly put, that within this very times where tensions are high, you need journalists to be courageous to do the work that they were going to do. And if we're going to do that, then it is important that we are provided the necessary protection. So my call is on the IGP to ensure that in this particular instance, where we have video footage of what is happening, we actually make sure that we take the maximum punishment for these people. And then I call on all journalists. We should not be cowards. We should not allow things like this to cover us. We need to go ahead and make sure we report this. We need to make sure any journalist who has any other video as well, let them share it with EIB. Let's make sure that we use that to put our cases together, and let's all go on doing the work that we have to do.
Dr. Kenneth Ashibe, thank you so much for joining us there, convener of the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining, strongly condemning this action. You're watching News Tonight here on GHOne TV. Do stay with us. We bring you more news shortly.
I live at Angloga and I had GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Emmys Africa Awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICCU, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter or host in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience, we're also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts.
I prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup, because on a production you see a number of people in the van, and so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets, and so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the track and do business with it.
It looks huge but very affordable. Cost is really affordable. My experience with it, EMI Awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable.
With just 51 days, the 2024 general elections, we remain your election hub. Now, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, John Dramani Mahama, says he will not debate Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia ahead of the 2024 election. According to the former president, he will not elevate the New Patriotic Party's flag bearer by debating him. As part of his fourth phase campaign in the Greater Accra region, former president engaged with supporters in Old Ningo with the Ningo Pram constituency on Thursday.
Somebody was asking me why I'm refusing to debate Bawumia. You know, Bawumia doesn't deserve a debate. He is losing this election. I will not elevate him to my level and go and sit and debate him. Their campaign is failing. They have no message. And so he wants to be elevated to my level. No. I know my level. You see, in 2012, I was sworn in as president. And I went into that election as the sitting president. They called for a debate. I made myself available. I debated Nana Akufo-Addo. In 2016, I was the sitting president. IEA organized the debate. I made myself available. Nana Akufo-Addo refused to take part in the debate. In 2020, he was the sitting president. He refused to take part in a debate. But the one who responded to me when we made the call for the debate is the current flag bearer of the NPP, who is asking me for a debate. Has he forgotten what he said? That I should go to Sangma and go and debate the farmers of Sangma who don't have fertilizer. That I should go to Abosokai and go and debate the spare parts people who cannot buy dollar because dollar is 3 point something to 3 cedis point something to the dollar. He said I should go and debate the taxi drivers and the drivers who cannot buy petrol. This is the same Bawumia today asking me for a debate.
Now, meanwhile, flag bearer of the governing MPP, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, says his life is all about helping deal with the challenges that the vulnerable face in society. Responding in Pidgin to a question posed by dancehall musician Shatta Wale about what he has for the people on the streets, Dr. Bawumia said his focus is to solve the problems of the needy.
Me, we are the politics. The thing with it, they my heart, no. It be the people that way they suffer for the country. It be way they my heart. Me, I be patron of Lepers Aid Ghana. Me then lepers, we they eat, we they drink, because they want help lepers in Ghana. Me, I be farm laborer before, by day worker. I be taxi driver before. I be cleaner before. Yeah. So I say I know how people they suffer before.
For more on your election hub in the days ahead, next we've got business news. The Volta River Authority are demanding the immediate withdrawal of the energy bills in Parliament, seeking to merge Volta River Authority and Bui Power Authority into a single power generation entity. Minister of State at the Energy Ministry, Herbert Krapper, has indicated the bills will be withdrawn given the opposition from stakeholders. Speaking to the media in Parliament, National Chairman of the Senior Staff Association of the VRA, Theophilus Tete Ahia, alleged that this merger, which will lead to the transfer of thermal assets of these entities to a private entity, will lead to an increase in cost of power, which will not be beneficial.
Premises. And in that meeting, he agreed
that he is coming to withdraw the bills, because the points that we have adduced in our petitions are so cogent that he realized that they have to withdraw those bills. As we speak, we have been in the Parliament House for 2 consecutive days, and nothing of that sort has been brought to the floor of Parliament that they are withdrawing that bill. That tells us that, well, we don't know whether we can say that we do not trust the minister, but we hope that he will do the needful to withdraw those bills, because they are not to serve the purpose and also to save Ghanaians from the current situation in which we are. Look, ECG's bill is billed by the IPPs in dollars. ECG sell the power to Ghanaians in cedis. So ECG's problem currently, as you are aware, the paper PURC wrote to the government on ECG almost nearing bankruptcy, is because we are having a lot of foreign exchange losses, and that is what is impacting. The problem is that how do we resolve this problem? And it is not about selling VRA assets. If we finish selling, what we mean is that 75% of our energy demand in this country will be in the hands of private people. And what will be the result? Whenever they get up that we are fed up, you are owing us, they will shut down, just like Azogre has done. And we are saying that the good people of this country must listen to us. They should support us to resist this measure, which is intended to sell the asset of VRA. Let me also say that the Water River Authority is so efficient, it's well managed. It is 63 years old. VRA is one of the best hydro generating plants in the world.
That's all the business news this evening. Sports news is up shortly with Monica Bukari.
I live at
Thanks for joining me here on Sports Brief. I am Monica Bukari. Now, Ghana's head coach Otto Addo is optimistic about the Black Stars' chances of qualifying for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. Speaking to the Ghana Football Association's media team, Coach Otto Addo says mathematically, Ghana still stands a chance to secure a ticket to the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON.
Yes, because surely we as Ghana should qualify for the AFCON. It's not over yet. Mathematically, there's still a chance, and we will do everything which is in our hands to hold this chance alive. And reflections on the game, you know, it's like, and I think I need to go a little bit, not only on this game, but a little bit more behind. If I reflect, and this is, I mean, it was also when I was a player, this was the case. You have to win your home games. You have to win them, and you know, the passion and also the discipline defensively, but also offensively, position-wise, was really good. It's just like we didn't execute, and the results were not there. And but surely we deserved to win against Angola, and also like the last home game against Sudan. The reason I'm saying it, because it affects surely the tactical view of the away game when you have to win. And if you won't win your home games and make your homeworks, you can go tactically differently into the second matches, which we couldn't.
Ghanaian football legend Mohamed Polo has shared his concerns regarding the performance of the Black Stars after their defeat to Sudan. Polo expressed his frustration, stating the potentials are there, but without a solid game plan and clear communications from the coaches, the team will continue to struggle.
Yes, you know, if it doesn't go well, the coach also have to take the blame. But those who are working, those the playing body, they also play an important role, because where they've reached now, they need the coach's instructions. But on the field of play, they decide what should be done. But is the coach, taking that responsibility, giving them the responsibility of what to do? Because what I see on the field of play, it seems we don't have any direction of a team play. Everybody, wants to do what he is doing, and it goes against the coach. If the coach cannot control, he has his formation. He has his technical strength. He has to apply it. But it looks as if the team is not in conformity with what we are seeing on the field of play. Because the last match, for instance, when they started conceding goals, everybody started going anywhere. They could not even stand to stay on their own style of football and create the chance.
And that does it for sports. My name is Monica Bukari. Back to you, Natalie.
Monica, it's having you with the latest from the world of sports. For lots more sports, local and international stories, do visit our websites at starfm.com.gh. The bulletin was produced by Musa Lansa and directed by GHOne. I'm Natalie Fort. Have a lovely evening.